Okay guys, let's talk about the basic components of a solar system. Now, if you want to install a solar system professionally, there are some components that you don't need to miss out. And if you fail to miss out these components, you don't have a solar system, it's a bomb you are building. Okay, are you getting? So let's see them one after the other. So we have the solar panel, which is also known as the PV module. Without the PV module, my friend, I don't know what you're doing, called solar system. Then we have the charge controllers. The charge controllers control the flow of current between the solar panels and the batteries. Okay, so it is the charge controller that regulates the flow of current. So we also have the batteries where the energy is stored. Okay, so when you are using a solar system, you know that sun rises in the morning and sets in the evening for several locations in the world. So you need to have a backup. So this is like the backup of your system. So every excess energy gotten from the solar panel regulated by the charge controllers are stored in the batteries. Okay, and the inverter is the powerhouse of your solar system. This is where every energy that is stored is further converted. You and I know that the energy that we get from the solar panels stored in the batteries are stored as DC current, direct current, and they are not used in our houses. Most houses, energy that is used directly is the alternate current, which is AC, and alternate current cannot be stored. So if we can store DC, the best thing to do is to store DC current in the batteries and further convert them with the inverter. Okay, so this inverter helps us to convert the DC to AC, or even AC to DC, whichever way. But just know that inverter, for the purpose of solar panel, convert from DC to AC. So it can also be either ways for other reasons, but for the solar system, it is DC to AC. Now, the next important thing we need is the cables, and we have for solar system the DC cables, also have the AC cables. So when we are connecting the solar panels to the charge controllers, we need DC cables to do that. And when we are connecting charge controllers to batteries, we also need DC cables to do that. But when we want to connect the inverter to supply power to the house, now it has already converted the DC energy to AC. So we will need an AC cable to do that. So we need to network the inverter to the supply of the to supply power to the building using an AC cable. So we also have other protective devices like the surge protectors, the DC breakers, the AC breakers, and at each of these points we use them. So let's see a diagram showing where these things are put to use. Okay, now this is the PV, which is called the photovoltaic module, which is the panels. So this is the panels connecting to our charge controller. Okay, remember there is a diagram here which is showing a protection. So these are protective devices that will interplay in between the panel and the charge controllers. And between the charge controllers to the batteries, we also have other protective devices. Okay, so these are the batteries where the energy is stored. Then the battery move it further to the inverter. Okay, it move it to the inverter, and from the inverter we also have other protective devices that will now further move it to the house. So this is exactly what these components play and how they are interlinked to give us power supply. So anybody who is to go into solar business, who is to be a solar professional, must understand the principle and how these things are interconnected and used in the house. Thank you.